because of the part that requires manual grading.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she said she put those grades in. Ginger, stop.
Have you got
Sorry.
a doggy with you?
I have a kitty with me.
Even better. Where did she even put the grades?
There she goes.
Okay, this. Where,
It would be under notes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I never thought to look there. And I just now noticed it. I never noticed it before.
Okay. Bonjour.
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 How is everybody today?
Bien.
Yeah?
Tired.
Tired? Yeah, I find myself staying up all night or going to bed at 8 o'clock and waking up at 2 a.m. Making it, what is it, week 4 of our confinement?
Yeah.
Has it been already?
Yes. Not that I've been counting.
I didn't think to count since the first 2 weeks felt sort of like spring break because it was spring break for us.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave us a week to prep, which was much needed. Okay, I've got a couple of announcements. We're going to do it a little differently today.
Okay.
So I'm going to make some announcements, then we'll do our lesson, and then we'll have some time for questions on the grammar. So I've had the opportunity to look at Control Cat for Chapitre 9. We did okay. Not brilliant, but okay. I think we did very well under the circumstances. This is, trying for everyone. Let's see, Control 3 on Chapitre 8 that we took before break. I snuck into the office yesterday, scanned everyone's control, and I have uploaded it to Canvas. So if you go in, you won't have to take my word for it. You can see how you did on the control. This was not our best effort. However, in part due to the timing and in part due to the subject matter, subjunctif, everyone's favorite, it usually this is a tough exam. Usually this is a tough exam. Okay, I hear that Emmeline's having a little trouble with her bandwidth, so just try to hang in there. We won't expect you to talk. And I think, yeah, I do have the chat function on. Auto-évaluation. I figured out how we're going to do this. I can simply tell Canvas to, drop the lowest 14 grades in participation and préparation, and that way you'll continue to get scores on the self-test, and none of them will count against you.
So the auto evaluations don't count against you?
That is correct. Now I can't, Canvas is a crude tool, so I can't ask it to just drop the auto-évaluation, but it will drop the 14 lowest grades from that category.
Okay.
So ostensibly, if you do none of them, or if you get 2.5 out of 5, it's going to drop that grade.
Okay.
So that's, it should help. It should help compensate. That way I can see the scores, know how well you're doing, and you have an incentive to truly self-test. But if you do poorly, you won't be penalized for having tried. And that's the main thing for me. I don't want anyone to be hurt by doing them. They're there for your benefit and to help you practice. I just, I was just looking for some way to resolve this to where you would get a benefit from doing them, but wouldn't be penalized for not doing that well. Because a lot of times when we first approach the material, we don't do that well on the first exercise. It's the, the second one we do better, and then the third one we get a grip on it. Okay, so that's it for the announcements.
I have a question about the
Sure,
test.
sure.
I can't see my grade online.
I'll look into it. You should, for Control 9, Chapter 9.
Yeah, for the test we just took.
You should be able to. I'll look into it. I'll have to look into it after this session, but honestly, you should be able to.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought we were supposed to be able to, but I can't see mine.
Okay, I'll check it. I've had a couple of students, especially that they were contacting me while I was grading your redaction, and it's like, please let me finish. So I tried to use the function where it hides your grades. So maybe I didn't get that right, or I didn't click on it enough.
Maybe you didn't unhide it or something.
Yeah, I'll look into it because clearly that's what's happened. I thought I had unhidden them and then I hadn't. But
okay, cool.
But I mean, under the circumstances, I think we did really well.
Okay, cool. I've just been dying to know my grade.
We're dropping the lowest one. Remember that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Remember that. So that should help. And I do sort of, the tests are online. I kind of expect you to have your notes and maybe look up a few things from the book. Just don't be egregious about it. But, I sort of expect you to rely on the tools that you have, since we're not constantly having class and constantly reviewing material, introducing material, reviewing it the next day. It's just more difficult. Even my upper level students, even my lit students are having difficulty retaining the material. So
it's hard online. It really is.
Yeah, if you just prove to me that you can do the grammar, it's fine to have your notes. It's fine to have your book. I expect that. I do want your little mini redaction to be your own. So the bar for that looks like they wrote it themselves and used material from discussion boards or our online sessions. And I've now figured out how to put our Zoom sessions online. So for Chapitre 10, I'll be listing links. So make sure you brush your hair. I know it's really, really hard, and if you're not wearing pants, don't stand up. It's gonna be an unlisted link. So unless you're passing it out to people, only members of the class will be able to see it. And I don't think too many people will want it, but just in case they do. So they're asking us to do that. So I'll be posting them as Zoom links so that people can listen to the discussion if they so choose to do so. Don't think it'll be high demand. It will be unlisted. Random people on the internet will not find our class, just members of the class. So it's going to be somewhat closed, but it may prove useful. Okay, is everybody ready? I'm very happy to see you guys. A week without our online classes. I was Zoomed out. I needed a break, but it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen them in forever. Rebecca had a question.
Oh yeah. So I saw on our modules that we have to sign up for the causerie.
Yes.
I wasn't sure how we were supposed to do that because it's linked with like a Word document for us to download, but I didn't know if that like updated with when everyone signed up, if we were supposed to respond.
Unfortunately, I am the only person who can update the Word document. So what you're going to have to do is look at the Word document to see what time slots are available. And hopefully I've done it correctly and not overlapped with a Zoom session. And just pick the time that you like and write that time in your discussion board.
Okay.
So that's how we do that.
So just respond right into the discussion board that's in it.
Yeah, just pretend it's a regular discussion board. Write the time, write the date and the time that you want in the as your discussion board, and then it'll click off complete or incomplete as I go through and fill in the blanks, and then I'll repost the sheet with everyone's names so that you'll be able to find it. So it's a little more awkward than passing it out in class and you're writing your names and then me just typing it in and reposting. So it is a little bit awkward, but that's what you're supposed to do. And that way we'll all have the causerie next week. Probably won't take all 10 minutes, but we have to figure out issues with microphone and with video. We have to clock in at the right time, so on and so forth. So it usually just takes about 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. Depends on how quick you are to think on your feet. But you should be able to, I won't ask you questions that you can't answer. I will ask you a question that I think you should be able to answer. Brittany?
Are they going to be like cultural questions relating to France?
Some of them might be comparison questions. But again, it should be something that you can answer off the top of your head.
Okay.
It won't be anything terribly specific. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a warm-up. This chapter lends itself very easily to our talking in French. So we're going to do a warm-up, and when we've done it, I'll let you know. Because they're the kinds of questions that I might ask. And it usually takes a minute or two to think of an answer. So that's why we have the whole 10 minutes. Not because you're going to be speaking for 10 minutes, but because get on, get off, ask and answer some questions. Think about the responses. And I may type the questions because I usually have them written out. I'll see what I can do. Usually I'll probably have to bump up the grades for the first few people because anytime you try something new, it takes a while to figure it out. But I'll just be keeping notes. So that's news about the causerie. Anything else before we get started? Ok, laissons-nous parler un peu en français. Le chapitre 10, c'est sur les vacances. Donc, dites-moi, où est-ce que vous aimez prendre vos vacances? Où est-ce que vous aimez passer vos vacances? Où avez-vous passé des vacances? Où passiez-vous des vacances quand vous étiez enfant? Où est-ce que vous passez des vacances?
J'aime aller à la plage.
Ah,
Oui.
des J aiment aller à la plage. Où est-ce que tu vas à la plage?
En Floride.
Ah, en Floride.
Oui.
Vous avez une ville préférée?
Pas vraiment, mais j'avais allé um, j'avais allé beaucoup
Oui.
avec mon l'église.
Ah, tu vas avec ton église.
Oui.
Et vous autres, où est-ce que vous aimez passer vos vacances? Où est-ce que vous aimez passer vos vacances?
Are you asking where we've gone on vacation? I just don't want to answer it wrong.
Oh, non, c'est en général. Où est-ce que vous aimez, présent, passer vos vacances? Ou où est-ce que vous avez, au passé, passé vos vacances? Où passiez vos vacances? Où passiez-vous vos vacances? Imparfait. Don't get hung up on the grammar.
Okay.
Not today. Où est-ce que vous aimez passer vos vacances?
Faire du camping.
Ah, tu aimes faire du camping.
J'aime faire du camping.
Brittany, où est-ce que tu fais du camping d'habitude?
Hmm, uh, un peu, un peu. I'm trying to say a couple times a year.
Ah, 2 fois par an. Et où, dans quel lieu est-ce que tu aimes? Est-ce que tu fais du camping d'habitude? Où est-ce que tu vas pour faire du camping?
Savage Golf.
C'est où ça?
Savage Golf is what it's called.
Mais c'est au Tennessee? OK,
Yeah,
OK, bien.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
Oui, oui, tu vas bien. Tu vas bien, calme-toi. Et vous autres, où est-ce que vous aimez? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez faire pour les vacances? Où allez-vous? Avec qui allez-vous? Parlez-moi un tout petit peu.
Faire du shopping avec mes amis.
Ah, tu aimes faire du shopping quand tu vas en
Oui.
vacances. Où est-ce que tu aimes faire du shopping?
J'aime les grandes villes, big city.
Ah, tu aimes non, non, les grandes villes, c'est bon, c'est bon. Tu aimes les grandes villes.
Chicago, Illinois.
Oui, Chicago a beaucoup de beaux magasins.
Oui.
On peut faire du shopping à Chicago. On peut faire du shopping à Chicago. Et mais, où est-ce que tu aimes faire des vacances?
Mm. What's the word for swimming?
Nager.
Nager. Jamais nager.
Et où est-ce que tu aimes nager pour les vacances?
Mm.
Où vas-tu pour nager? Rebecca va à Chicago pour faire du shopping avec ses amis. Où est-ce que tu aimes nager?
Mon grand-mère mansion.
Oui, avec ta grand-mère? Et bon, c'est bon. Okay, je voudrais maintenant. So this would be a good example of something we might do for the causerie.
So I did not do very good.
Neither did I. It's okay.
This is why we're here practicing.
That is why, yes.
And don't think you didn't do well. Sometimes you need more help. The less help you need, the higher the score. But it's to show me what you know. And a lot of times in fourth semester French, you can't hit the tenses. I'll ask you something in past, you'll answer in future. That's pretty typical. But show me that you can control the present. But this actually would, especially this semester, when we're trying to finish under such difficult conditions, that would be an excellent question to cover this chapter. For chapter 6, I might say, parlez-moi du cinéma. Qu'est-ce que vous aimez regarder? Quelle sorte de film? And I might toss in a culture question. Comparer le cinéma français au cinéma américain. And I'll keep them to what I really believe that you should be able to do based on our readings, based on what we've done in class, and based on having a chapter and a half out in the ether somewhere where we're all just floundering and trying to do our best. But that would be a good example. And as I said, the more information that you can give me about the topic, I only worry if you miss the question completely. Everyone told me something about vacation. So If you miss the question completely or you can't answer, I can't help you. If you show up and can talk about the subject at all, it's a minimum C. Because we know. So, just try not to stress out too much. But that would be this little question bank I had this morning. That would be a good example of what we might do. And it'll probably be one of the questions I recycle because it went over pretty well. OK, je voudrais vous parler des deux textes que vous avez lus. Donc, prenez à la page 370 dans le texte. 370. Vous avez le premier texte sur les vacances et le voyage. Où est-ce que les Français aiment prendre des vacances? Où est-ce que les Français vont en vacances?
On aime se rapprocher de la nature.
Oui, ils aiment beaucoup la nature. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres lieux où les Français aiment passer les vacances? 370. Les vacances et le voyage. Au 19e siècle, on préférait la nature.
Au 20e siècle, la province et la côte d'Azur.
Oui, donc toujours la nature, mais on a commencé à explorer la côte. Et est-ce que vous connaissez la côte d'Azur? Non, pas du tout. Vous ne connaissez pas la côte d'Azur?
The Gold Coast.
The Blue Coast, the Côte
Ah.
d'Azur.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
OK, je pourrais vous montrer quelques images. Oh, pardon. OK. Voilà. Je pourrais vous montrer quelques images. Okay, these are just, and you should be able to see these, should be able to see my screen. These are just some old postcards from the Côte d'Azur, early 20th century. So Saint-Tropez. Anyone heard of Saint-Tropez?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to advertise a suntan lotion with I think there is a suntan lotion called Saint-Tropez. Cannes, Villefranche. Nice, of course, is the most popular. Here's some postcards from Monaco. Monaco is a little country squeezed between France and Italy. Ironically, they used to use the French franc, and they all speak French. Okay, and here again, some more postcards. Nice, of course, is the most popular destination on the Côte d'Azur. And as I learned in the previous session, I did think to include a map for you guys. So if you can see my cursor, Saint-Tropez is about in the middle of the map. It's on the Mediterranean, the Mediterranean. And then Nice is the largest city. It's usually the fourth or fifth largest city in France, so quite a bit in terms of population. If you go to the right, you will see Monaco, and then you have the border with Italy. So Nice, Cannes, or you might remember Cannes from Chapitre 6 when we talked about the Festival de Film. Okay, San Rafael, Saint-Tropez. And then there are just these other coastal cities, but this is the Côte d'Azur. And this is what Nice looks like. Nice little postcard. It's very pretty. This large asphalt space between the beach and the road, that's called the Promenade des Anglais. And it's called the Promenade des Anglais. You can see a little bit of it in the picture on the bottom. Because the English built it. They liked to go to Nice in the 20th century as well. Unfortunately, I do not recommend the beach. They put pebbles on the beach to make sure it didn't wash away. and it's very hard. It's not very comfortable if you like sunbathing. And the water can be a little rough at times. Okay, this is Villefranche. Villefranche is a cute little town next to it. You can go there, rent a beach umbrella and a chair, for the day. They've got a nice little market. There's their little beach. It's fancier than the one in Nice. But when they talk about the Côte d'Azur, this is what they're talking about. And they're talking about this part from Saint-Tropez up to Monaco. That is the Côte d'Azur. And Nice is the largest city. It's very famous for its flower market. And I had the opportunity to live there for 2 years and work there. So I know it fairly well. Ok, donc voilà ce que c'est la Côte d'Azur. Laissons-nous parler un peu de votre deuxième texte. Le deuxième texte parle de l'écotourisme. Qu'est-ce que l'écotourisme? Donnez-moi une bonne définition. Donnez-moi une bonne définition de l'écotourisme.
Un mouvement de tourisme responsable.
Un mouvement de tourisme responsable. Est-ce qu'on peut me donner plus de détails? C'est un mouvement, l'écotourisme est un mouvement de tourisme responsable. Qu'est-ce que vous avez à ajouter? Comment est-ce que nous pourrions élargir notre définition?
Peut-être quand on fait un voyage, mais il n'est pas très cher, comme le faire du camping et choses comme ça, peut-être.
Oui, faire du camping est un bon exemple parce que l'écotourisme s'intéresse à la nature, à préserver la nature et à préserver les animaux. Donc, faire du camping est un bon exemple de l'écotourisme. Donc, c'est du tourisme responsable, c'est préserver les animaux, c'est préserver la nature. Il y a un autre élément que vous avez oublié de votre définition. Quel est le dernier élément de l'écotourisme?
Équitable, peut-être.
Oh, oui. Vous avez trouvé quelque chose?
Vise à protéger les cultures et les traditions.
Oui, on s'intéresse à la culture et aux traditions des lieux qu'on visite. Un exemple pour préserver la nature et pour préserver les animaux, c'est faire du camping, qui est aussi peu cher. Qu'est-ce qu'un exemple de l'écotourisme pour s'intéresser à la culture et à la tradition d'un lieu? Il y a un exemple dans le texte. Qu'est-ce qu'un exemple de l'écotourisme où on s'intéresse à la culture?
Les activités culturelles sont souvent organisées en coordination avec des villageois.
Oui, visiter un petit village. Et le texte, à la page 372, on vous donne l'exemple du Maroc.
Mhm.
Maroc,
Hmm.
où on visite le petit village. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres exemples de tourisme que vous connaissez? D'autres exemples, faire du camping, le Maroc, visiter un petit village et voir les activités. Est-ce que vous pouvez penser à d'autres exemples de l'écotourisme?
Manger local alimentaire.
Oui, manger la cuisine locale. Manger la cuisine locale, expérimenter avec la cuisine locale pour déterminer si on aime la cuisine ou si on n'aime pas la cuisine. D'autres exemples?
Des traditions musicales.
Oui, participer aux traditions musicales. S'il y en a. Par exemple, si vous allez au Portugal, allez à une soirée fado, qui est la musique typique du Portugal. Quels sont quelques avantages et quelques inconvénients de l'écotourisme? Quels sont les avantages et les inconvénients de l'écotourisme? DJ a déjà dit que ce n'est pas cher pour faire du camping. Quels sont quelques avantages et inconvénients de l'écotourisme? Faire du camping, c'est pas cher. Si vous allez à un village au Maroc, c'est un peu cher. Quels sont quelques avantages ou inconvénients de l'écotourisme? Did anyone hear Rebecca? I couldn't hear you clearly.
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
Now,
Oui.
la préservation des animaux et de la nature.
Oui, on peut préserver les animaux, on peut respecter la nature. Ça, c'est bon pour la planète, n'est-ce pas? D'autres avantages ou inconvénients?
Il y a beaucoup de choses qui est vous, like, close to you, près de vous.
Oui, en particulier pour nous. On peut faire d'écotourisme facilement en Chattanooga. On peut faire une randonnée sans hôtel. Ce n'est pas nécessaire pour nous de voyager, de rester dans un hôtel. On peut simplement faire du camping ou faire de la randonnée ici et rentrer chez nous le soir. Donc, c'est près de chez nous, l'écotourisme. C'est pas cher. On respecte la nature. Nous faisons notre part pour sauver la planète. Est-ce qu'il y a des inconvénients? Non, pas vraiment. Dernière question. Est-ce que vous voulez faire de l'écotourisme? Est-ce que vous voulez faire de l'écotourisme?
Are you asking what we would like to do?
Je,
Or
je répète, est-ce que vous voulez faire de l'écotourisme? Est-ce que vous aimez faire de l'écotourisme?
j'aime faire du camping.
Oui. Pourquoi est-ce que tu aimes faire du camping?
Pas cher et j'aime de la nature.
Ah, c'est pas cher et tu aimes la nature. Et vous autres, avez-vous envie de faire de l'écotourisme?
Oui, j'aime faire du randonnée en Memphis. Il y a beaucoup qui est très joli et j'aime regarder à tout. Sorry.
Oui, ok, très bien. Et May ou Rebecca, est-ce que vous aimeriez faire de l'écotourisme ou non?
Jamais manger local cuisine.
Ok, donc tu aimeras, tu aimeras aller dans un lieu exotique pour manger la cuisine?
I don't know what the word is, but when I went to New Orleans, I ate alligator for the first time.
Oui, mais voilà, c'est un peu d'écotourisme. Tu as mangé la cuisine locale. D'autres commentaires?
J'aime visiter au souk. Is it souk? S-O-U-K?
Oui, tu aimerais visiter un souk? Donc, Rebecca, oui, ce serait une grande aventure d'aller au Maroc, visiter un souk, n'est-ce pas? Okay, très bien. Now, we have surpassed our time. Does anybody have any questions about the futur or the futur antérieur? Brittany?
Hold on, let me find it in my notebook.
Okay.
There was something about in the video, it was about phrases with C. Is that going to be, is that in the book? I didn't see that in the book anywhere.
It is.
It is? Okay, I just might not have looked hard enough.
It might not be in this section. It might be in the Frasevexy section where they review with you.
Okay, yeah, I think I see it in the review section.
And it should it should be vaguely familiar with you. I know that if you had 1020, we go over it with you in 1020. If you had that class here, and we talk about how you can use present, and present future with Frasevexy.
Yes. Okay. What does, so underneath it you had like one present plus present and then present plus future and stuff. But number 3 is PQP plus CP.
Okay, that's coming up. PQP is the plus que parfait.
Plus que parfait. Okay. And then what is CP?
Conditionnel passé.
Conditionnel passé. Okay.
Conditionnel passé. I'm going to share the screen just briefly so you can see. Brittany's talking about this slide. And the Frasevexy, they're actually on the program for next Tuesday. Oh, joy. But because this semester we have every verb tense known to man, and Frasevexy are one of them. So our if-then clauses in French are a little more complicated. So we use the combination present, and present future when it's probable. And then our new ones, you probably remember imparfait and conditionnel from last year. You should. So I hope that that's not entirely new. But our new ones are going to be the plus que parfait and the conditionnel passé, which is a tense that's on the program for Thursday. So conditionnel passé, it's like futur antérieur. We use avoir, être in the conditional, and then the participe passé. So yeah, you're looking a little bit ahead, and we're going to learn about all of these.
Okay.
You don't.
See, that's kind of what I thought. I kind of thought that we were going to talk about them, but
yeah, we'll talk about them more in depth. We'll
Okay.
talk about them more in depth. I like them because they're like a mathematical formula. So once we know it, it's just plug and play. It's not, you don't have to stop and consider your point of view, the speaker's point of view, in order to figure out which tense to use. If the phrase avec si uses present, it's going to be present or future. We have no choice. If the phrase avec si uses plus que parfait, you plug in the conditionnel passé in the second clause, in the subordinate clause. So that's, yeah, looking a little bit ahead. I'm glad you were able to watch the videos. I'm glad, they're moderately helpful. But we're going to be talking about this more as we move through the chapter. Any other questions about the futur or the futur antérieur?
how do you know when to decide between just le futur and le futur antérieur?
Okay, the futur antérieur puts a condition on your statement. It's a little bit like when we use the imparfait or the passé composé and the plus que parfait. The plus que parfait, the past perfect, tells us the action that happened furthest in the past. And when we use futur and futur antérieur, we're talking about conditions that happen in our future timeline. And we're making a choice between those two. We're making a choice between those two things that happen in the timeline. So the first action that happens in the timeline, the condition that must be fulfilled if the other future action occurs, the one that has to happen first, we're going to use futur antérieur, just as we use plus que parfait to talk about the action that happened furthest in the past. So this action happens first in the future. And then once the condition's fulfilled, then our future action occurs. Let's look at the examples. Let's look at number 2. Je travaillerai aussitôt que j'aurai trouvé un poste. So number 2 on the slide. Je travaillerai aussitôt que j'aurai trouvé un poste. I will work as soon as I have found a job, as soon as I will have found a job. So first, we must find a job. And that's the part of the sentence, that's the clause that gets the futur antérieur. And then, having found a job, I will work. Travaillerai, simple future. So I think that one's nice and clear. Now, we're not obliged. We can use futur antérieur without the future. That would be example number 4. But it's rarer. Usually we use them in conjunction with a future statement saying, well, first I will do this, futur antérieur, and then this will happen, futur. But everything's taking place in the future timeline. Okay, hopefully it will make a little more sense now. Any other questions? I know we're running very long today. Okay, we'll do the same thing again on Thursday, some French, then some questions. Hopefully we'll keep it to our 30 minutes. I know it's difficult to sit and stare at the screen. even if you do have a kitty cat.
I know. I keep petting my cat. I don't know if you guys have been noticing. I'm sorry.
No, well, her ears just poke up in the corner of the screen, and it's like super adorable. You know, I'm just happy that mine is, napping on her chair and not insisting on being part of the action.
That's what she's doing.
That's why I can't have my cat in here. She walks in front of the screen constantly.
Yes, because you should be paying attention to her.
And then she sits in my lap.
Aw. Okay. Well, I'm going to see you guys on Thursday. We'll try to keep it brief and let you go early. But for those of you who are really nervous about the causerie, the question that I started with about où est-ce que vous allez pour les vacances, and even qu'est-ce que l'écotourisme, or est-ce que tu aimes faire de l'écotourisme? Those would be excellent questions. Those would be excellent sample type questions. So it's, believe me when I say I'm going to ask you something that I think you can do. Something that's achievable. Okay, well, I'll see you on Thursday. And very happy to see you again. It's been a whole week. And au revoir à jeudi.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Okay.